When I got here, people already wanted to do something different with undergraduate education. And so we kind of put together a quite large group of faculty and staff who had passions for undergraduate education.
It was part of a larger mission to change undergraduate education, so it wasn't a narrow scope of let's just fix our intro class.
The college itself really wanted to have more action up at Itasca. Biological field stations around the world have been struggling for a long time of having more people attending, going to classes there. And so this was looked at kind of as a place where we might bring freshmen to try to get them more interested in outdoor biology. They come up to St. Paul and get on a bus, ride up here for 5 hours, and then we put them to work.
What they most take out of that and what they see value in is being actively involved with their own education. I think that's something that's a brand new idea for students.
I think another thing that makes Itasca unique is that it has been protected for so long. You know, it's been free from logging for decades. It's been a state park. We've had the field station here for 100 years.
It's peaceful, it's quiet, and that gives you space to think.
There's so much here. The habitat heterogeneity in the lakes alone makes it a perfect place to do research if you're at all interested in freshwater ecology, because you have different size lakes, different depths. You have lakes that freeze solid in the winter and lakes that don't. You have lakes with fish and without them. It's a dream.
And this had to be the birthplace of the emerging philosophy of the college, that from the day you walk onto campus, you're doing biology, not just appreciating biology. When we started out Nature of Life, it was mainly just the Itasca experience. We expanded it to be a full-year program. In the first semester, it's about community building and connecting. And then in the second semester, it's more about looking forward. What's your major? Once we had learning objectives, we realized that we couldn't teach the same course both to biology majors and to non-majors. And so that's when we launched the second part of this whole initiative, which was designing the new course that met the objectives that were laid out by the first committee.
The rationale for having foundations was to get students more engaged, to have them show up at class, have some value that they'd be getting from their introductory biology sequence. They also have a chance to work on the intellectual work of a scientist by working on a semester-long project. So they apply the concepts of the course to a project which has some societal benefit.
They're used to thinking that education is something that's done to them rather than them being the active participant. The struggle is a lot less than it used to be. And I think that filters through the entire curriculum then for students, that the 4 years that they're here, you're the one that should be doing the work.
It's one thing to say, we're holding you accountable, we expect you to do the reading. Another thing to follow through with a quiz at the beginning of every unit. We make them know that it's important to read, and I think as a result, they read more.
Teaching in the ALCs itself is valuable because we have the technology, the round tables, the environment for students to be actively engaged.
It invites behaviors that once you're in there, you just start doing naturally. So it feels, to do something other than lecture feels natural and appropriate.
Here is something that's at the center of campus that is a monument, a testament to teaching this way.
The initiatives that were launched by this first curriculum task force, that's pretty solid. Where it's been more challenging is with upper division courses.
So I think the biggest thing right now, and this is underway, but it's hard, is thinking about the entire curriculum. I think the coursework is still not integrated.
And so that kind of diffusion of innovation, I think, from the introductory courses up into the upper division courses has been slower.
And students don't quite understand how everything fits together, because we don't quite understand how it fits together.
It's kind of the right time to hold up a mirror and together look at the program and the students and where they are, where they're going, and get a better idea of what's working for them well and what's not.
What our graduates can do now, they couldn't do 10 years ago, is that they can now think like a biologist. They can investigate a biological question conceptually using the literature. They can write about it, they can present it graphically, and they can present it in an oral presentation.
Our students come in and we ask them, what do you want to do? And they say, we want to make the world a better place. And so that hasn't changed. What has changed, I think, is their confidence in being able to do that.
They get a team experience that is fascinating.
students genuinely, legitimately feel that they're part of a community. The goal here is to build a small college feel embedded within a large research university. I think we've been quite successful.
If you really want to change undergraduate education, you have to really respect them, listen to them, treasure time with them. And it's only with those kinds of attitudes that they're open and that you're also open to meeting them, not as students, but as emerging colleagues.